What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods back here with another interview, and we got arguably the best linebacker in college football today, man. Logan Backhaus is here with us today, South Dakota State linebacker, and man, we could spend the entire show going through these awards, man. He was like unanimous FCS All-American, MVFC, an all-newcomer team, All-American for the MVFC, and preseason All-American going into the season, was a key part in South Dakota State making their run to the FCS National Championship this past season. So, man, I appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Zach, for having me on, man.
Absolutely. So, man, you were a player of the year, man, in high school. You were all over. You were playing offense, playing defense. You punted. Like, man, you were like, I don't think you ever took a break when you were on the field. So, looking back, man, which teams were recruiting you the hardest as you were coming out of high school?
So, coming out of high school, a little Northwest Iowa school, didn't have a lot of opportunity. SDSU recruited me pretty hard. Coach Rogers, my linebacker coach, and our ex D coordinator Clint Brown, they'd come up to some basketball games every now and then, watch some of my games. So I got recruited by them pretty hard. UNI as well, very hard, and then some preferred walk-ons at Iowa and Iowa State. They didn't really know if they wanted me to play quarterback or if they wanted me to play safety, but I just followed my gut by going to SDSU because they were one of the first schools that really recruited me and like put effort into getting me on campus.
Oh man, that's crazy that like now you're this all-American linebacker. I believe I read a few publications that were saying you're the best, one of the best linebackers going into the draft after the season. So that's crazy that you could have been a quarterback
Yeah.
at certain schools. But looking back, man, when you were trying to make your decision, what were you looking for most in a school as you were taking visits, as you were talking to coaches? What was on the top of your list that you were looking for in a potential school?
So with what I knew back in the day, like when I was coming out of high school, I was looking for a coach that really could push me to be my best, to be honest with you. And I saw that in Coach Rogers. I think he is one of the best linebacker coaches in the nation, to be honest with you. Um, the way he pushes us every day, the amount of time he spends getting us ready for the upcoming game, the amount of film that he watches, like it's hard to see another. I guess I haven't seen any other coaches, but um, his impact on me has been one of the best things that I've ever experienced in my life. He's pushed me to be my best every single day. He doesn't let me be average, and I think that's one of the biggest parts about it is he will push you until you fail. Like I would give up on myself before he gives up on me, and that's one of the biggest things about it is, um, man, I can't say how much thanks I give to Coach Rogers for what he's done for me these past 4 years. So that's what I was kind of looking for in a school. I was looking for a guy like that, and Coach Rogers was like that for me. Over a couple other schools that were talking to me, he was the one that he showed up, and his mentality from day one was, I'm not going to let you be average, so I'm going to push you to be your best, and I think that was the best decision for me.
Oh man, hey, I love to hear stories like that about coaches who actually care about their players and
Yeah.
push you guys. And listen, I mean, if he has that mentality, I know the coaching staff does, and that's why this program. I think you guys were voted second in the FCS poll today by the media,
I think so.
and
Yeah.
so a big expectations, but hey, like you said, never average, man. But looking back, I know this is a long time ago, so you got to go back to like 2016 when you redshirted. Looking at yourself as a player then to now, how has your game evolved since you stepped on campus as a freshman?
Oh man, it's to be honest with you, it's changed completely. Um, I came in as a freshman. I didn't really know if I wanted to play defense. I didn't know if I wanted to um, be the guy at SCSU. And then after my freshman year, I realized like, damn, I got to be on the field. Like I need to be on the field. I know I can be on the field. So I started learning the defense. I started learning multiple positions, and that gave me the versatility to be able to play multiple positions on defense, which ended up leading me to starting my redshirt freshman year. And ever since then, the rest is history. But yeah, my play style, my confidence, my play recognition, My play speed has just changed so much from freshman year to now. Now I'm recognizing plays a lot faster. I'm breaking on plays a lot faster than I was my freshman year, just because I've seen it so many times from our offense, from the same teams we've played for the last 3 years. And to be honest, that's one of my best skills, is the mental capacity of the game. Playing offense, playing quarterback coming into college, I didn't know if I was going to play quarterback or defense. So I really had to know both offense and defense. And I really think that's helped me on the defensive side of the ball, because I can analyze how offenses are maybe going to call a play. Like, depending on the down and distance, maybe it's 2nd and 6. We're either going to get a short run or maybe a quick pass to try to get them into a 3rd and manageable. So that's how kind of my mind runs during a play. And I think that's the biggest part of me that's changed since my freshman year, is the ability to analyze a play before it happens and then react.
Oh man, I don't feel like linebackers. Everyone talks about quarterbacks have like the mental game. I don't think people recognize enough how much mental capacity it takes during the game for a linebacker. Because especially inside linebackers, man, you got to be the quarterback of the defense. I don't think people give you guys enough credit for film work and everything. And you just went through the whole checklist of everything you've improved on, but. You don't have to give all the offenses their keys to your game, though. But thinking on your game, what's one thing you would like to improve to take your game to the next level?
See, the hardest thing with me is, like, I don't really, like, I can play inside linebacker. I can play outside linebacker. I can play like a nickel type backer. I've done it all. I've played probably 100 snaps at every single one of those positions. So my versatility is my greatest attribute, I think. Going from guarding a slot receiver to maybe taking on a pulling guard to guarding a tight end. Like, my array of skills have gone from multiple different positions. And I think that's the best thing for me. The one thing I maybe need to improve on a little bit is just my physicality a little bit. I like to slip blocks and like get around them, which I think is easier for my type of build than instead of like taking them head on. But that's just how our defense is set up. I feel like our defense is set up that you fill the right gap at the right time, then our defense as a whole will be successful. So I mean, it's all a scheme thing, honestly, to me. But the one thing I want to improve on is maybe my stopping power. Like, when I make contact with the ball carrier, I want to stop them right there, not give them another yard, 2 yards. So I think that's what I've been trying to improve on all summer. I've been working out at a training house up in Minneapolis. Shout out to Bill Welly. He's been a great trainer for me. He's really helped my speed, helped my man skills all summer. So, like, my nickel position that I've played the last 3-4 years has really been improved on. So I'm excited to see what this season holds.
Oh man, absolutely. And I mean, that versatility is what makes you one of the most interesting players in the FCS, man. And that's why I've read an article about you being one of the most interesting prospects coming out next year, because you can play all these positions. So, and you talked about this a little bit, but I kind of want to go deeper into it. How much film do you actually watch of your opponents the week leading into a game?
Yeah, so that's that's the biggest thing for me. I don't need to learn our scheme anymore at SCSU. I've been there for 4 years. I know the X's and O's by heart. Like, so the film on the opponents is like my biggest thing. So, like, after every practice, the linebackers and DBs will get together. We'll watch extra film. So we'll meet with our coaches. We'll go practice, and then afterwards we'll meet together as just position groups, like player-led meetings, and watch like another hour and a half of film. So 1 week of watching the team's film, I'll probably put in a little over 10 hours, maybe 10, 12 hours of film prep. And I really think that does give me an advantage, to be honest. Like, some people are like, oh, you don't need to watch that much film. You'll see the same thing over and over again. But if you really watch it close enough, you'll pick up on little keys. You'll pick up on how the slot receiver likes to get out on his slants, how he likes to get out on his inside fades. And that could change the difference of a ball game right there. I know he's running the inside fade, and I'm have no help on the backside. Like, I gotta know that, otherwise I'm gonna get beat for a 40-yard play. And I mean, on defense, to be honest, you're already at a disadvantage compared to the offense. The receivers know exactly where they're going. They know what route they're running. And on defense, you're just reacting. So that little amount of information that I get from film could be the difference between a big play and getting off the field on third down and winning the game.
I like it. Listen, anybody listening who is thinking about being a college football player needs to listen to this, man. Watch your film and pay attention. Don't fall asleep during film study in high school. You need to know it. But, man, last year was an amazing run. You guys make a run all the way to the national championship. Came up just short, though. But as a senior leader, man, what are the team goals for South Dakota State going into the 2021 season?
I mean, to be honest, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You get all the way to the national championship, and you come up inches, feet short. I've replayed that last play where Sam Houston scored that touchdown. I've replayed that play thousands of times in my head, and I take one step to my right, I maybe intercept that ball, and it's a completely different ball game. But I don't think our goals have changed from last year at all. I think our goals are the same. It's to be 1-0 every single week, to not take any opponent for granted and make it back to the national championship. Because, I mean, that's what every FCS player wants. They want a shot to play on the biggest stage in FCS football. And, yeah, after what happened last year, I mean, that motivation is there, man. Like, coming up 15, 16 seconds short and 3 yards short, like, that'll push a guy to a new level that he's never experienced before. And that's kind of where I've been at this summer, and I'm excited to get back, and I'm excited to get this season going.
Oh, man, I'm so pumped for this season, especially getting all the fans back in the stands, man, getting everything. It's going to feel like a real college football season. Last year just felt a little bit weird and everything, but you got all the accolades. I mean, you've achieved everything just about, man, and you can in a career. But what are your personal goals for your senior year? What do you have in your head that you want to achieve your last time out for South Dakota State?
I just want to leave. I want to leave my legacy at South Dakota State. I want to be the guy that people talk about 3-4 years from now. That man, his leadership, his game day presence was different. Like, he was a completely different animal on game day. He was a different guy. Like, he turned it up a notch when it was time to play a game. And that's kind of the legacy that I want to leave. I want to be known as the guy that gave everything that I had for that program. They've given me every opportunity in the world. They let me play this sport that I've loved for 15 years now. And they gave me an opportunity to continue doing that. And I'll forever be thankful for them for that. My personal goals, I mean, we get all this way to the national championship. We come up just short. So that's my biggest personal goal, is to make it back there and go out on top. If I can end my career out on top, I'll be happy. And I think a lot of the guys at South Dakota State will be happy as well, because, I mean, every team can say how much work they put in the offseason. Every team can say how much work they put in during the regular season. But it comes down to how you can overcome adversity. And I think last year our team overcame a ton of adversity. I mean, it was a spring season. You have cancellations left and right, and we ended up making all the way to the national championship. I think the same team is ready to come back and make another appearance in the national championship. So my personal goal is more of a team goal, I guess, because I mean, I got so many brothers on this team that I've spent my last 5 years with, grinding with, lifting with, early mornings, that I want to see it pay off for all of them as well.
Oh, man, the camaraderie and everything that I'm getting, man, is huge. I'm so pumped for your season. But I know you said it's 1-0 every week, and I know you're the senior leader. And every time I have a senior leader on the show, they give me the same answer, and then there's a but. I get the first game's so important, and then the next game after that's the next important. But after that, which game on your schedule do you have circled? And you're like, man, I can't wait to suit up for this one. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
The thing is, it's crazy because, I mean, being at SDSU for 4 years, I've got a lot of rivalries going on. I mean, we got USD, in-state rivalry. We got NDSU, one of the best teams in the FCS that we compete with every single year in our conference. And you got UNI, and now you got UND, who beat us last year, and we're looking to get back at them after coming into our conference and taking a win from us. And then you got teams like Southern Illinois who made the playoffs last year and gave us a run for our money in the playoffs. Like, there's a lot of good teams in the Missouri Valley, and it's not about suiting up for just one of them. To me, it's about suiting up for all of them. Because if you don't show up one week, you could lose to anybody. Like, you could lose to any team in the Missouri Valley any week if you don't show up and play your best. And that's why, personally, I think the Missouri Valley is the best conference in FCS. Top to bottom, it's the most competitive to me. And, so, I mean, those – obviously, NDSU every year you're looking forward to. You have to beat them. Dakota Marker on the line. USD – in-state rivalry, and then you got, like I said, UNI and UND. Like, it's hard to say just what game I'm looking forward to. I really am looking forward to the Colorado State game too. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about they have a really good tight end, possibly top 5 coming up in this next NFL draft. So I think it's gonna be. I like that challenge. I like that challenge a lot. I'm excited to go out there and play against arguably one of the best tight ends in the nation, and just prove what I can put on film.
Like it, man. I know you. I think that game was chosen as I think it was a top 10 or 15 FCS over FBS upset alert too. I think there's a lot of those this year. Yeah. As I'm kind of looking at the schedule, there's a lot of favorable matchups for a lot of FCS school to make some waves this year. So I'm pumped for that. And I know you kind of addressed this, and I saw some people addressing this on Twitter. A lot of people are saying last year had an asterisk. A lot of people were saying, oh, well, Sam Houston State's the asterisk champions, and South Dakota State only made it because of this and this. What is your message to the fans and teams sleeping on you guys going back to Frisco this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of our linebackers said it best last year, Preston Tetzoff. He's no longer on the team anymore because he's moving on with his life. But he said it best. He said, if your team won the national championship, would you say there's an asterisk next to it? I wouldn't. If I'm a James Madison fan or a Sam Houston fan, an NDSU fan, an SDSU fan, I'm not saying if my team won it all, I'm not saying there's an asterisk next to it. We put just as much work as everybody else did all season. We might have even put in more work because we had to be there for all of fall, all of spring, constantly working to be ready to play for that national championship. I mean, that's the longest season that any football player has ever been a part of, and I guarantee that it was over a year and a half long from when COVID started. So to be honest, I don't think there should be an asterisk next to anybody's name last year. Every team fought their ass off and worked their ass off for whatever they could, wherever they ended up. So it's not like any team there were some teams that dropped out. There were some teams that didn't play because of COVID, but the people that played gave it their all. No matter what team you cheer for, every team gave it their all, regardless of what people want to say. So I don't think there should be an asterisk next to last year's championship, just like there shouldn't be every year, obviously. Whatever team ends up winning the national championship was the best team on the field that day. Like Sam Houston, they deserve that. They were the best team on the field that day. It hurts a lot thinking back about that. But it gives you a lot of motivation. So that's the one thing I'm going to take from that game is the motivation to get back there and do what we haven't done before.
Absolutely. Hey, y'all play the teams in front of y'all, man. That's all you can do. And so this last group of questions, man, just helps our listeners get to know you better, gets anyone listening to know you better. They're pretty easy questions. Some of them you got to have to make a choice. But your first one, man, what letter grade would you give your career at South Dakota State right now?
If I'm comparing it to like the best linebacker we've had, I'd probably say B plus A minus. I feel like my turnover production has been pretty good. I feel like I'm around the ball a lot. I think that's one of my biggest attributes is I'm around the ball a lot. I make a lot of plays happen, whether I just be in the right spot at the right time or I'm reading something before someone else does. But like I said, I'd probably say like a B plus, A minus.
Oh, I like it. So, which NFL linebacker do you model your game after the most?
That's tough. I like Personally, I like watching Corey Littleton when he was on the Rams, and then now I think he's on the Raiders, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way, he's a tall, lankier guy, but he plays the inside linebacker position so well. He's fast to the ball. He's always around the ball, flying around, making plays. And I like to, model my game a little bit after him because he's all over the place, reading the play before it happens. So if I can play if I can model my game after him, then I'll be happy.
Oh man, hey, he's a stud. He's a stud. That's the reason he got a huge deal from the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. So, looking back to game day, man, what is your pregame routine? Do you have to wear certain stuff? Do you have to listen to something specific, or what's your pregame routine?
Yeah, so my pregame routine is I'll do everything that the team does, whatever. We get all that out of the way. We probably got 3 hours before game time starts, and I got the same playlist I've had since my freshman year, same exact songs that I'll just put on shuffle. And then I'll listen to a certain amount of songs and get warmed up, and then I'll come back, put my pads on, and then the skill players will go out and officially warm up with our strength coach. I think 20 minutes before, or whatever it is, 50 minutes before the game or whatever, and we'll go out 10 minutes after them. So in those 10 minutes, I got 4 songs that I listen to. It's the perfect amount of time. Get my pads on, listen to this music, put my helmet on, and walk out. And I do that before every game. I've done that before every game for the last 4 years. That's really the only superstition I have. I'm not a very superstitious guy, but I listen to the same 4 songs before every game. They get me in a zone to play my best, I feel like.
Oh man, I like to hear that because when I played in high school, I had the same type of thing. I went down. There's a certain song that I had to listen to. So that had to be the last song I heard before going out there. So this one's going to be kind of tough, and I know I tried to do it for each position, but what's most important to a linebacker, speed or vision?
That's tough because if you got great speed, you can have a little slower vision because you can make up with it. If you have great vision and slower speed, you can act on a play before before you know it's going to happen, which puts you there before a faster guy. So it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. But I think vision's more important, to be honest, because as a linebacker, you're reading a lot of things. You're reading a guard. You're reading a tight end that can swipe. You're reading where the tailback's at, which way the quarterback opens. So you got a lot to look at before the play even starts. If your eyes aren't focused or your vision isn't right, then you're going to be a step, 2 steps too late, and then you're going to end up either not making the play or making it for a big gain. So, to be honest, I think vision's more important from a linebacker spot just because you have so much to focus on. Obviously, speed's very important too because if I realize what's happening, but I don't have the speed to make that play, then what's good? What good is the vision do for me?
Right.
Type. So, also, if I don't have speed and I understand what's happening, but I can't get there fast enough to make the play, then there's really no point of having great speed if I don't realize it until too late. So
Right.
it's a big combination of the both. But to be honest, as an inside linebacker, I think vision's more important than speed.
Oh man, I would agree with you on that one. So, are you a big trash talker during the game? I know some of these guys get chippy. As a middle linebacker, you got to be calling stuff out. Do you kind of get up in the quarterback and scream with it? How much trash do you talk during the game? Honestly,
I'm to be honest, I'm pretty quiet outside of football, but when I get in the game, it's a whole different animal gets released. I'm talking trash, and most of the time it's with the O linemen. O linemen love talking trash, for no reason. They're big, think they can bully you. I love talking trash to O linemen because they get so mad when a little linebacker's talking to them and they can't do anything about it. But yeah, I like talking trash because I think it boosts my confidence personally. If I'm out there talking trash to a guy that I'm playing against, and if I can get in his head, then I win mentally. And if I can win mentally, then I can win physically. Is kind of my thought process behind it. So, yeah, once the intensity of the game starts happening, I do end up talking a little bit of trash.
I like it. Hey, I played O-line in high school, and I know for a fact we all were talking trash.
Yeah.
So I feel that. I feel like DBs get a lot of the credit for the trash talk, but they don't know what goes on in the trenches.
Yeah,
It's bad.
Yeah, the DBs get caught because they're always in the open field, like talking trash with the wide receivers. But when you're in the trenches, like anything goes at the bottom of a pile in the middle of a run play. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes on down there that the fans and the refs don't get to see.
Oh man, absolutely. So this is the last question, man. I've already mentioned you're one of the top linebacking prospects going to the NFL. Your name's going to be called next April. I am absolutely sure about that. If an NFL franchise pulls you aside and asks you, what are they getting if they draft you? What do you tell them?
Man, that's a big question because that's like a lot of what NFL franchises look at. They want to see what you can bring to the table for them. And if you pick me up, you got a versatile player that can play special teams. You got a guy that can learn a playbook very quickly, and that can make a difference on your team. I know that for a fact. Anywhere I go, I end up in a leadership role. I think I'm a leader at heart. Whether that be in the NFL, I don't know. It might be a little different. I would be content with being a special teams player because I'm going there to give them everything I have. If everything I have is a solid special teams player, then that's what I'm going to give them. If I can give them a starting linebacker spot, then that's what I'm going to give them. Whatever a team asks out of me, that's what they're going to get. And I know that for a fact. My work ethic, my mentality. I've never wanted to answer to anybody, never wanted to be like second in command. Obviously, that's different with like coaches and stuff, but I like being an alpha. I like being the leader on a team. I like being the guy that motivates a team. I love walking up and down the sideline, talking to the offense, talking to the defense, saying, hey, we might be down, but we're going to win this game. For example, Southern Illinois in the playoffs, we were down by, I want to say 10 at halftime. And all of our captains, all of us were walking around saying, this game's not over. There's a lot of ball game left to play. We come out and we dominate the second half. So that's why I think an NFL team's going to get with me. I think they're going to get someone whose work ethic is phenomenal, someone who wants to step into a leadership role, and someone who's versatile enough to play any position and learn the playbook in a short amount of time.
Oh man, I like to hear it. I know, we cover the Senior Bowl every year and a bunch of these All-Star games just on the podcast. And man, I'm looking forward to seeing you down there, man, balling out against the other best talent in the country. But I appreciate you coming on the show, man. This was an absolute blast. Shout out to you for coming on here. But where can everyone find you on social media? Give your shout outs, man. Talk anything you want to talk, and where can they find you?
Yeah, so they can find me on Instagram at Logan Backhaus, LoganBackhaus, all lowercase. They can find me on Twitter at Logan_Backhaus. And then I just want to give a shout out to Wandering Kitchen. They're a kitchen. It's a husband and wife in Minneapolis. They help provide me meals all summer long. They helped me get in the best shape of my life. I just want to give them a shout out for everything they've done for me. I want to give a shout out to Training House in Minneapolis. Bill Welly, my trainer, who's been up there. He's a great guy. He's pushed me to be my best all summer long. Then I just want to give a shout out to SDSU for everything that they've given me, every opportunity they've given me to succeed and move on with my career. And yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this fall. I'm ready to get back, and fall camp starts in 6 days, I think. So it's coming up fast. I'm excited to get back. I'm excited to get this season underway, and I think it's gonna be a good one for the Jacks.
Definitely agree with you, Matt. Listen, we'll be following you closely. And listen, when y'all win the championship this year, we're going to have you on. You got to show off the ring, the trophy, everything like that, man. So I'll be reaching out when y'all get back to Frisco.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I look forward to that time.
Absolutely, man. But guys, make sure to go check out Logan. The more followers, the more interaction he gets, the better he'll be set up for NIL and everything in the future. Got to support our FCS players out here, guys. So make sure to go support him. Like this video, subscribe, man. Y'all know where to find us. YouTube, any and all podcast streaming platforms. We'll be back next week with some more episodes. But for Logan, myself, and the Blue Bloods, man, we are out.
Peace. Thanks, everybody.